So this question is asked again and again that what is dhyan or what is meditation and how can we use it for our well-being? Now, we can easily answer this question if we will study Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Patanjali have explained the concept of dhyan or concept of meditation in the third chapter of Patanjali Yoga Sutras, which is also called as Vibhutipad. If I remember correctly, then it is the second verse of the third chapter, which is explaining the definition of word dhyan, which we loosely translate as meditation nowadays. So this sutra says that in Sanskrit language, if I pronounce it, it will sound like Tatra Pratyeka Tanata Dhyanam. The definition of dhyan is Tatra Pratyeka Tanata Dhyanam, which can be translated as an uninterrupted flow of the mind towards the object of meditation is called as dhyan. Simply, we can also translate it as an unbroken flow of your mental concentration or your cognition or a knowledge towards the object of meditation is actually dhyan. Nowadays, it is really important to do it. Many of us are suffering from mental anxiety, mental restlessness. Have we ever thought why does it happen and why it is happening nowadays even more and more? If you'll see, especially in this modern era of materialism and also the stress that is related to it, there is an extreme outward movement of the mind and the senses. Our mind and senses are always attracted towards the outward world, and especially our senses, they are stimulated by different stimuli that are provided by this materialistic world, and our senses are running behind them, and of course our mind is a follower of the senses, and it will follow the senses will enjoy the fruits, they will enjoy the tastes, mind will also enjoy with them. Mind actually is looking for happiness. Everybody's mind is looking for happiness. Everybody's mind is looking for bliss. In Sanskrit language, we call it sukha. And somehow, mind is thinking that these senses are basically providing happiness to it, pleasure to it. But you will always see that the sensory pleasure actually does not provide us an ultimate pleasure or an ultimate satisfaction or contentment. The end result of almost every sensory experience is actually exhaustion and tiredness, and even more desire. You might get like temporarily satisfied, but then there'll be desire once again, and you have to indulge into that desire again and again until you feel exhausted. Bhagavad Gita explains this even more beautifully. Krishna is saying that our senses are like wild horses. They run here and there in an uncontrolled manner. Imagine if there is a chariot or like a horse cart which is pulled by five horses, and there's a charioteer or the driver who is trying to control those horses. And there is also the owner of that horse cart, which is sitting on the back seat, who is sitting on the back seat. Krishna says these horses are actually like your senses. The driver is the mind, and the owner of this whole horse cart, who is sitting on the back seat, is actually yourself. These horses, which are controlled by the driver or the mind, if they are not in the control of the driver, if they are not in the control of the mind, they will run here and there without a proper direction and will always keep the whole chariot unstable and disturbed. Even the self will feel very disturbed because self will not go to the place where he wants. He is actually drawn by the senses. And mind is a very naughty character. Mind will listen to the boss, to the self, if boss really knows how to control his mind. If boss is weak, then mind will follow the horses and mind will enjoy the pleasures with the horses, with the senses. So it's very important that our self really knows how to behave with the mind. Our self knows how to be in its most relaxed and real state. Always remember, mind actually is looking for sukha, mind is looking for happiness. So if you are in a very relaxed state, if you are in your own real self, in your own real state, the state that you should be, then mind will actually follow you. And if your horses are stronger and you don't know how to be in your own real state, then in search of happiness, mind will follow the senses. So this state of being with your own real nature is actually dhyan or meditation. Meditation does not mean only to focus on something like on an outer object. Of course, in the beginning stage, we do play that game, means we ask our mind, or we train our mind to meditate on outer objects like some kind of light in front of candle you can meditate, or with some music, on our breath you can do, or even with some mantra we can meditate. But all these basically are the preparations, because when you're able to direct your mind outwards with your own will, then the next stage will arise. And in this stage, you can train your mind to meditate on your own self. Whenever you are able to be in your own best state, your mind will never leave you. Your mind will never go near the senses. Whenever we are able to do that, our mind starts behaving in resonance with our own self. Otherwise, you will see you want something else and your mind is doing something else. Many people will say that I really want to wake up at 4 o'clock, but I can't. I want to do that in my life. I want to meditate. I want to do yoga. I want to sleep early, but your mind does not allow you to. Because mind is enjoying the pleasures with the senses. Because you, yourself, is not able to provide that calmness, that relaxation, that oneness to the mind, because you are not in your own real state.